The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. The Knicks tonight at the Wizards. Julius Randle with a candidate for Dunk of the Year over Daniel Gafford. Wow. We're going to break that down later on from the Wally Wall. And also the great passing to Isaiah Hartenstein. Knicks get a lead early in the fourth and hold on to win tonight in Washington, 112-108. Great to have you with us from our Delta MHD studios. Bill Pito along with Alan Hahn and Wally Szczerbiak. We all know in this league it comes down to crunch time. And Alan, in the last couple of games, the Knicks have been better than the other team when the game has been on the line.
Yeah, that's been the important part of it. Obviously, the way the Bucks game ended was crushing, was a heartbreaker for everybody. But the fact that now we've had these close games, and this has been, Wally, in the league. We're seeing a double-digit lead in the second half. It doesn't mean anything. I mean, even the Celtics have lost 3 games. The Knicks have only lost 2 this season. 1 was this week, but these last 2, they were able to close them out.
Yeah, and it always seems like games in Washington end up like this. There have been some crazy games to finish. I was just hoping the Knicks could kind of hang on. And how about the road record? 13-8 on the road. This team does not go on vacation when they go on road trips. They make them business trips to come back with wins. When you can win on the road, it says a lot about your preparation. It says a lot about how, as a player, you're preparing in a foreign, in a tough environment to win. And I love the way this team's playing on the road. They held the Wizards to 39% shooting. Tom Thibodeau loves that, and 31% from 3. Those are the 2 most important stats that Tom Thibodeau wants to look at on the stat sheet, and the Knicks are delivering on that end of the floor.
And winning the rebounding battle, too.
Yes.
That's the third piece.
Guys, 13 road wins is the second highest total in the entire league. We talked in the pregame about how we like to look at 20-game segments. In the last 20, the Knicks are now 14-6. The key tonight, Alan, early fourth-quarter run, a run that put the Knicks up by 15, and it gave them enough of a pad to hold on down the stretch.
Yes, and a lot of this had to do with the bench being in the game, but note also that it's Immanuel Quickley who's moved back to the bench. He was terrific as a starter, and he has become sort of the go-to guy off the bench to provide the offense and provide the scoring, and you see him doing that with these plays. A lot of great ball movement on that one, and we might see that one on the Wally Wall. But the ball movement, the up-tempo, and then Jalen Brunson being out there as well as a playmaker, huge part of that game, of this game, that allowed the Knicks to get that padding on the road to get this win.
And we were talking about it. We noticed with the bench to start the fourth quarter, Brunson and Barrett were in the game. Kyle Kuzma, I'll tell you, 40 big points tonight. Boy, was he a load to defend down the stretch. He was getting to the basket, knocking down threes, got fouled on that three-pointer, which was huge.
Eesh.
But boy, can he shoot. Boy, there's the foul. Randall just kind of touched him in the chest. But Kuzma only made 2 out of 3, so he's still down 2. There's a big miss, and the Knicks can't get the rebound. But then Achimura off the in and out. And that was when the Knicks were up 4 at that point, and then Brunson ended up icing it, doing a great job making his free throws. He's got the free throws all set, and he's been making his free throws after that little glitch in the matrix for a few games where he missed a few that he normally makes. He's a 90% free throw shooter through and through, so you knew he was going to get back to doing that. This is a big-time win. I mean, this is a team in the Wizards who are 16-23. The Wizards get this game. They kind of inch back towards the Knicks. They're going to get Bradley Beal back eventually. Knicks put away this win on the road, put the Wizards further back in the rearview mirror. These type of wins are huge for the Knicks.
Yeah, they're 6 games down of you now. You still got a couple more games to play against them. And, you know, as we talked about this, the stats I watched tonight was the idea that the Knicks, going into this game with the second half of the season just underway, had the 3rd hardest strength of schedule left in the league.
That's interesting.
So when you play teams like this that are below you in the standings, under 500, with players missing, you got to get these games. These are important to stack these wins because you know you've got some tough opponents coming up later on in the year.
All right, let's give it up again for Jalen Brunson. 34 for Brunson.
Amazing.
7 of 7 from the line. A couple of those with the game on the line late. And Wally, 8 rebounds tonight and 8 assists.
Yeah, listen, he's playing like an all-star. I've been saying it.
Say it.
He's going to make the team, and he's just, the winning is what makes the difference. And there aren't too many more winning-type players in the NBA playing at this level in the fourth quarter. I mean, Alan, you've alluded to his clutch stats. He's top 5 in all the clutch stats to close games. I mean, these numbers are sick. I mean, they're 50% every single night. He's got the 3-ball going. He's knocking down his free throws. You know, he's making plays for his teammates. Like Julius Randle's playing off him, doing a great job. but he loves banking the wins. That's the thing. It's all about winning with him. He doesn't care how many points he scores. He scores over 30 because he has to get the win. That's all he does. He doesn't worry about his individual numbers. He worries about, what do I need to do to get our team the win? He would be fine with getting 10 points if everyone else had it rolling and he didn't have to shoot and he just played a pure point guard type role and got 15 assists. He would be fine with that as long as the team wins.
Played 40 minutes tonight again. How many turnovers do you think he had?
One?
He had one.
Yeah.
Like, that's the part also that you have to understand, because the ball's in his hands so much.
Right.
That there's a lot of pressure. Some of the highest scorers in this league turn the ball over 3 times, 4 times a game.
No question.
That's just because you have the ball a lot. Jalen Brunson does not turn over the basketball on a regular basis. And in fact, he called himself out, if you remember.
He always calls himself out. We're sitting there saying, why are you blaming yourself for anything?
The other night when he said, I can't turn the ball over there, I can't have turnovers, it's like he had 1 turnover. But that's the thing. He's a perfectionist about his game. But he also, as well, he said, is what's the winning play? That's the play I'm making. Yeah. And on some nights, he's got to be the scorer. On some nights, he's got to set somebody up to be the scorer.
All right, so the All-Star voting is something we're going to talk about in the pregame show on Sunday. Pregame at 12:30, Knicks in Detroit at 1.
How's he not in the top 10?
That's no question.
Come on, Knicks fans. Let's vote for this guy.
Let's go.
Right?
Absolutely.
Now, I would think he's going to be a coach's selection, is he not? I mean, is there any...
It's 3 times votes today.
Yeah, so you got time.
Yeah.
Get on the app now and start voting for this guy.
Go.
He's earning it. In 6 games now, he's averaging 33 a game since he's been back from the hip injury.
And Randall and Barrett.
Right, but you're right. It works as the starters will get their votes, and they'll be starters. And then the coaches in the East decide the reserves, and there'll be 7 players that are picked out of reserves. And, Wally, you know this. I mean, they look at how's the team doing.
It's all about
winning. If you're winning, you got a better shot at making it.
Tom Thibodeau said it in it's tough for the coaches. Like, they don't want to be those deciding votes. But what tips the scales is what team and what player is affecting winning, and what is that team's record. That's what it's all about when it comes down to those last 7 spots.
And by the way, Randall tonight, we showed you the dunk, 23 and 16. He's got 15 double-doubles in his last 16 games.
Awesome.
A couple of guys on the Knicks, boy, Randall and Brunson playing big-time basketball. Tom Thibodeau's team is now 5 games over 500, matching their season high. They're 18 and 13, and now they are 24 and 19. Back with the Wally Wall. We'll hear from the coach coming up.
The Knicks postgame show was presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state area Audi dealer today.
Knicks are at Detroit on Sunday. Note that the pregame's on at 12:30, the game at 1. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Coming up, the Wally Wall. But first, postgame comments from Tom Thibodeau. Knicks win tonight by 4. Here are his comments presented by Chase.
Coach, a grinded-out game. No team could really get separation until that 4th quarter. You guys went on that 14-0 run. What changed?
Yeah, and, credit to them that they've been playing really good basketball. And we knew it would be a challenge. Kuzma got going, and then Porzingis hit some threes on us, and then we fouled, which was a problem. But overall, I like the way we responded. I thought our defense was very good throughout, and found a way to win. The rebounding was the big thing. They obviously, Gafford adds a lot to their team, but they have wings that go hard to the board, and right size was a concern as well.
Tom, I recognize that tonight you only went small in the last minute after Mitch fouled out, but you have done that to close out 2 straight games now. Do you feel more comfortable with the way Julius is playing defensively, playing him?
Yeah, well, it depends on where we are in the game. And at the end of the game, are they going to be fouling and that sort of thing? And then is there more shooting on the floor? Are we going to more switching? And so I like the flexibility that Julius does give us there. And so we have to, I think we're a lot better than we were, but we still have a lot of work to do with that.
A lot in the second half, you guys really kind of took it into the paint a lot. I don't know what the total was, but went to the rim hard.
Yeah, and I thought we got some easy baskets too. I thought that helped us. So the fast break points, getting the ball into the paint, that was big. And then we didn't shoot great, but I liked the way we attacked. We didn't make our free throws, but we were attacking the rim.
Jalen's had a few 30-point games now in a row. I know you always talk about him doing what the game calls for, but just his scoring the last
Yeah, I think, and you hit on it. I think the game, there were a couple points in the game where it was 6-8 where they had the lead, and he came right back and he brought the game back where he didn't let it get away. And then just reading the game, it gives you, I always say the number one job of the point guard is control and manage the game. So what's going on in the game, get us organized, and he's great at it, and he has a lot of poise, and and I thought Julius played terrific. His rebounding, he had that huge block, late in the game. That was a great play. And he's had a few of those. And like the last 2 or 3 games, he's had these monster blocks where he comes out of nowhere. And that's big time. And I thought Mitch had a tough game with the fouls. So, we were fortunate there. But I thought Isaiah came in and really gave us good minutes. And so that was important. And then Quick was quick.
Julius with the block. He had a stretch where he was really shooting the ball well, and maybe not as well now, but it seems like lately the effort has been.
Yeah, and well, I think, and that he's had a great season, and I think the way the versatility of his game now. So it's not just, like where he's handling and going. It's a lot of different things, and I think that's hard to guard. And he's moving great without the ball. The more he moves, the more he separates, the more he runs the floor. He's great in the pick and roll. He's great when he handles. Just put the pressure on the defense. And when he starts moving, it makes us move. So I think that and it helps create rhythm for the team. And so we want him to continue to do that. I think RJ's starting to get his rhythm back. We knew it would take a little bit of time for that to happen, but I think those guys are playing extremely well off of each other.
The team's defense has been strong all season. Hold the Wizards to 39% shooting tonight. Is it something now, the belief within the team that they just know they could fall back on their D every night? Yeah,
and I think, and we talked about it from the start of the season, and even though, we felt we could do a lot better, but all the markers from the beginning of the season were there. The field goal percentage, three-point percentage, points in the paint, the rebound margin, that was there so I knew, okay, that's going to be our foundation. That was pretty clear, and it's gotten better as the season's gone along too. So I think the more time together for everyone understands. It's very difficult to guard guys individually in this league, so you need everyone tied together. We always say there's 5 guys guarding the ball, and if we do that and we keep the ball out of the paint, we know our chances of having success on the defense end are going to be good. And if we're not in rotation, we can get out, and instead of a 4-step closeout, it's now a 2-step closeout, and it gives us a chance to get a body on a body to rebound. So it's all the things, it's working together and then tying it to the offense. I thought if we can get stops, we can get out into the open floor, get some easy baskets, and that's important for us as well.
When Julius gets double teamed, there are times where he'll get off the ball real quick and the ball moves well, and there are other times where it feels like he's kind of holding on to it, like waiting for the double team to come to get rid of it. In those moments when he's holding on a little longer than you might like, and the moments when he's recognizing, what is he doing when it's going well that doesn't always translate? Yeah,
a lot of it is who's coming and where they're coming from, and then sometimes just using that escape dribble to stretch the trap out, right, to give him space to get it out. Usually those are the best plays, and he did, when he gets off it, and he's done a good job of creating offense. Sometimes it's coming quick, and it's hard to say. I always like to look at the film to make sure that because we also have to read. Like, how quick are they going on the flight of the ball? Are they going on the catch? Are they going on the dribble? Are they coming from the baseline? Are they coming from the top? Where are they coming from? And then are we in the right spots? So if we're cutting away and our back is to the play and he's getting doubled, now that puts him in a pickle. So everyone's got to get to their spots, and everyone's got to trust that, okay, if I'm supposed to flood the baseline, be there. So he knows he can stretch it out, escape dribble, and then reverse pivot and hit the baseline. And then if we're supposed to have a cutter come through the elbow, know that that's your job. You got to get that done. And if you don't get it, you got to get back out. You got to respace the floor so we can continue to play. So it's everyone. Yeah, it's no different than, all aspects of the game. It's not just Julius being double teamed. It's the spacing around him. And same thing when Jalen gets double teamed in a pick and roll. Everyone has to read that, and we got to make sure he has 3 outlets so he can get off the ball quick.
Quickly seems like he's your guy's director in transition defense. Like, he's out there, he's pointing, you get this guy, he's seeing the floor. Is that a role that's assigned to him, or does he just take that?
It's a role that's assigned to the whole team. So, but I'll make sure I point it out that you're pointing out. I said it's not really me, it's Cats. No, and I'm serious about that. So we always say, well, the first thing we want to do is protect the basket. So and everyone, you don't have a man in transition. Protect the basket, find the ball, and then everyone's got to point and talk. So you might be saying, my man, my ball, so we don't get 2 running to 1 and leave a guy wide open. We had one situation where, we left Kispert wide open on the weak side. That shouldn't happen. Right, so if it's everyone communicating, and look, you can't have a great defense unless there's a lot of talk, and it has to be loud talk. That ties everyone together. It gives you a head start on what's coming, what everyone needs to do. So sometimes we're great at it, sometimes we're not as great as we need to be. But if we want to have a great defense, we got to get that done.
And the post-game thoughts from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau, and you can tell he's in a good mood because he has a lot to say and he's describing the game and everything else.
Knowledge.
So we are here at the Wally Wall, and normally we go over a bunch of plays, but tonight there was one. It was a special one. It got us off our seats. I'm sure it got off your couch watching it as well. It is Julius Randle's dunk.
I can watch this highlight, this replay all night long. Julius Randle gets the ball at the free throw line. Now freeze it there. Keep an eye on Daniel Gafford. He's the guy that's absolutely posterized. Julius Randle sees him, and he doesn't care that he's there. He's known as a shot blocker, but on this play, Julius Randle caught him with the left, and boom, carnage. Take that with you. On the ground, look at Julius Randle's face. He's like, woo, that's going to look good on SportsCenter, baby. Oh, yeah, what a dunk. Here comes Grimes over there. And this is just a great angle of it, how quick he elevates. He catches him quick because of how fast he gets up. I mean, Julius Randle with the left, and this is a good one, too, where you see from the basket cam where he comes up. Now, freeze it right there. Here's Kristaps Porzingis saying, I'm glad that's not me down there.
Here's Gafford saying, this is a bad decision.
This is a bad business decision. I am going to get absolutely flattened on this one. Ooh. But what a finish. I mean, that is this incredible athleticism and strength by Julius Randle. Just absolutely mowed through the whole entire Washington Wizards team, threw that dunk on their head in the third quarter, and that created so much momentum and energy for the Knicks to take home this win on the road.
And he did it with the left hand,
yes,
of course, as well. Those are the types of plays you would see on the MSG 150, which is next, right, Bill?
Great transition. We got an NBA regular season record we're going to tell you about. San Antonio hosting Golden State and much more next. Back now from the Corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra. A reminder to enjoy every bucket as the Knicks beat the Wizards over the Wizards 112 one way. A couple things from this box score that stand out. Knicks tie a season low with 7 turnovers. They got 19 fast break points and only dominated points in the paint, 50-28.
Yeah, and again, winning the rebounding battle is huge, but it's the fast break points, Wally. Like, that's a rarity for this team. They're not really a running team, especially once they've gone to the lineup that they're with right now since December. They really have played a slower pace. But the fast break point's a big number today.
Yeah, and we've heard Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle kind of allude to, we're going to run when we get the opportunity. Yeah. We're going to pick our spots to try to get easy baskets. We're not just going to play half-court, grind it out, like playoff-type basketball the whole entire game. We need to get some of those easy baskets, gets us into rhythm, and today they took advantage of them. With Obi Toppin back in the lineup, he had a nice lob up to R.J. Barrett, so he'll help the fast break points because he loves to get out and run. And I think Emmanuel Quickley's the guy that's really been orchestrating the fast break.
Yeah. Got to mention quickly, 18 points in the game, 7 in the fourth quarter. Helped key the Knicks' early fourth quarter run that was instrumental in the Knicks' win in Washington. Talking about instrumental, how about Jalen Brunson? Another huge game with 34 points. We'll get his post-game reaction coming up. Next game for the Knicks at Detroit Sunday. Pregame at 12:30, game at 1. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Knicks tonight beat the Wizards by 4. 34 points from Jalen Brunson. Here are now his post-game comments.
Jalen, this game was tight throughout, and then early in the fourth quarter, you guys went on that 14-0 run. What changed?
We picked it up a little bit. We just got stops, got on transition, got a couple and ones, and we just found a way. We were just gonna keep fighting, but we knew that they weren't gonna quit. So I think that lead kind of helped us out a little bit and helped us secure a big enough lead to put them away at the end.
Another 30-point game for you. That's 4 30-point games in the last 5. Do you feel offensively you're playing the best basketball of your career?
I feel like I'm doing a lot to help this team, but at the same time, I know I can play a lot better. I can play a lot more efficient. I can do a lot of things better. So can't be satisfied with what this is doing right now, but I just gotta keep pushing.
Coach was talking about your defensive effort and what it takes to be great at that consistently. Do you feel like you guys did a lot of that in the fourth quarter, especially, or not?
Yeah, I feel like the way we played last game, we had a good first half defensively, and then let Indiana get back in the game. And so it was preached that we need to play better defense, and I still think we have a lot of work to do, but this is a step in the right direction.
So Brunson 34, 23 and 16 from Julius Randle, and the unforgettable dunk over Daniel Gafford. Stay with us. Back with more after this. Knicks and Pistons on Sunday. Pregame at 12:30, game at 1. Time now for another edition of Checking In with the Knicks, presented by Coinbase, a weekly series recapping all things Knicks, culture, and crypto, hosted by Bianca Peart.
What's up, Knicks fans? Welcome to Checking In with the Knicks, presented by Coinbase. I'm your host, Bianca Peart. Let's jump in with our fast break highlights of the week.
Goes up.
Now let's check in beyond the locker room for some off-the-court updates. In honor of the upcoming Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, the Knicks sat down with MSG Networks to talk about his legacy and hope for a brighter future.
Martin Luther King was born January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia.
In 1955, he led the Montgomery bus boycott.
He proved the power of nonviolent protest.
In 1963, he helped organize the Great March on Washington.
He helped shape the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
In 1964, he became the youngest recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize.
Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on April 4th, 1968.
The time is always right to do the right thing. Amen.
Now let's throw it over to Crypto Corner. Dogecoin is the world's most popular meme coin with 10,000 new coins minted every minute. Now, unlike other coins, there is no limit to how many Dogecoins can be minted. While there is an endless supply, remember, only you know what's best for your crypto portfolio. Can't wait to see you next week for more Checking In with the Knicks, presented by Coinbase. I'm your host, Bianca Peart. Let's go, Knicks.
Okay, Bianca, thank you. So Sunday, Knicks and Pistons from Detroit. Sunday afternoon, pregame at 12:30, game at 1. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Up next here on MSG, it's MSG Shorts. Knicks blow it open in the fourth quarter with a 14-0 run. Emmanuel Quickley was huge in the fourth quarter. Knicks beat the Wizards 112-108. They matched their season high now, being 5 games over 500 at 24-19. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you on Sunday afternoon. Remember, the pregame is at 12:30.